Kidnappers demand 50 million naira ransom for 2 Taraba University students. Ahead of Salah celebration, Lagos traders lament low customer turnout amidst hike in price of commodities. India-bound passenger vomits excretes 80 wraps of cocaine at Lagos airport. And on the international scene, Rwanda commemorates 1994 genocide with 100 days of mourning. A very good evening and welcome to the News Hour on Trust TV. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. We begin tonight's news with stories about the abductors of 2 students from the Federal University Wukari, Taraba State, demanding a ransom of 50 million naira for their release, according to Ashwa Agbu, the head of the institution's Information and Protocol Unit. The students, Joshua Sardona from the Economics Department and Obianu Elizabeth from the Microbiology Department, were abducted while working at a restaurant. The kidnappers targeted the owner of the eatery but took the students instead. The incident occurred at a shop attached to the hostel where many students reside off campus. Despite the security agencies and local youth conducting searches in the surrounding forest, the kidnappers remain at large. Agbu emphasized that efforts to rescue the students alive and safe are ongoing, with plans for an expanded meeting on Monday involving security agencies and government representatives to address the issue comprehensively. And joining us now via telephone to discuss the development is Daily Trust Regional Editor Hamisu Matazu. Matazu, welcome to the News Hour. Earlier, you were telling us about how the abductors had agreed to a renegotiation of the ransom of some sort. I would like you to pick up from there.
Good evening once again. Yes, the kidnappers had reached out to the family of the victims, demanding that the ransom should be slashed to 12 million naira. And the family, I think, reached out to the school authority, and the school authority have confirmed it. And one thing you should know is that even the police have confirmed the abduction of these students, and community are doing their best to ensure, in collaboration with the security agencies, are doing their best to rescue the students, because we learned that some volunteers have joined the police in the search for the victims.
All right, then, what's the general atmosphere of the school community currently? How have they responded to this shocking news?
Yes, initially there was the school was tense, because most people, the students are afraid, because it's something that just occurred, and it has been a very rare situation, things like that happening in that environment. So obviously the students were panicked, but now, based on the information coming out from the school is calm, and the university authority were able to calm down the students, assuring them for more security and the security environment. That's the update from the school. And what we are trying to find out now is how maybe the way those kidnappers are reaching out to the families of the victims. So somebody told us that is through phone calls, and we want to know maybe if the security operatives are doing anything maybe to track down those calls that are coming to the families.
Okay, Matazu, before we let you go, you mentioned earlier that this is quite a rare situation, having students or having any kind of abduction, especially in Taraba State. However, has there been any attempt to escalate the issue from the higher institution to, say, the state government level, to ensure, like, say, the governor reacts to the matter, or some senior government official in the state, react to the matter and also take up the matter?
For now, I have not heard of anything like that. But in Taraba is something that has been happening, but not in schools like this. And I believe the security said that they are doing their best to ensure that those students are rescued. But I learned from the public reaction, most students are complaining that there was not much security in their locations, and they are appealing on the security operatives that with this situation happening now, they should ensure that enough security are provided to all the higher institutions across the state.
Hamisu Masazu, thank you so much for the updates there. We'll definitely touch base with you as more of them comes to light. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Yes, Hamisu Matazu, the regional editor for the Daily Trust there. Moving on now, the military has reinforced troops and retaliated against terrorists responsible for killing soldiers along the Biu-Buniyadi Road in Borno State. Now, 6 of the terrorists were neutralized and their hideouts within the Timbuktu Triangle were leveled by the reinforced troops. The Director of Defense Media Operation, Major General Edward Buba, confirmed the incident, stating that only lieutenants were killed, while 4 other injured personnel are receiving treatment. The remaining terrorists in the area are currently in disarray due to the aggressive pursuit by the troops. Also, Katsina Agro Rangers of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps successfully repelled an attack by suspected bandits on the federal government's grain silo located in the Dutsinma local government area of Katsina State. Spokesperson for the NSCDC, Buhari Hamisu, disclosed in a statement released in Katsina on Sunday that the attack occurred on April 6th around 1 a.m. The bandits aimed to destroy the silo and abduct its manager, Lawal Shitui Aradua. Responding swiftly, the Agro Rangers engaged the bandits in a fierce gun duel that lasted for over 2 hours, preventing any damage or abduction. The NSCDC has since deployed additional personnel to the location and bolstered the firepower of its operatives to forestall any future attacks. It's important to note that the silo plays a crucial role in storing grains for distribution to the people of Katsina, Zamfara and Sokoto states. Hamisu stressed that the NSCDC remains committed to promoting safety and security for the people of the state and Nigeria as a whole, ensuring the protection of critical national assets and infrastructure. Also, the police in Nasarawa State, in collaboration with members of a vigilante group and courageous residents of Asokpada Mararaba community in Karu local government area, have successfully neutralized a suspected armed robber who had been terrorized in the area. Additionally, they have arrested a 20-year-old suspect named Edache Joseph in connection with the crime. According to a statement by the police public relations officer, DSP Rahman Nansel, the incident occurred on April 5th, 2024 at about 11:45 p.m. when information was received about a gang of 8 armed robbers attacking residents of Asokpada Mararaba area in Karu local government. The statement highlighted the concern over the increasing cases of armed robbery in Karu local government, particularly involving young boys aged between 19 and 25 years. To address this, the Commissioner of Police, Umar Shehu Nadada, reorganized the community policing approach by mobilizing the public and vigilante groups to collaborate closely with the police. DSP Nansel noted that the arrested suspect, Edache Joseph, is cooperating with the police investigation. The Commissioner of Police, Nadada, commended the efforts of the police operatives, vigilante group and community members for their bravery, assuring them of continued support from the command in safeguarding the lives of the citizens. Elsewhere, the Agojeju Odo community in Omala local government area of Kogi State remains in shock and mourning following an attack by unidentified gunmen on Thursday. Tragically, 2 more dead bodies were discovered in the bush on Sunday, adding to the toll of lives lost. Among the victims was Samuel Abu, a regular guest on Ray Power FM program. The community is reeling from the loss of multiple family members, including a father, wife, mother, brother and sister in the invasion. Condemnation has poured in from various quarters with calls for a thorough investigation to apprehend the perpetrators of this heinous act. Governor Usman Ododo has condemned the attack, promising swift action to bring the culprits to justice and restore calm to the community. Former Governor Ibrahim Idris described the incident as a monumental loss of lives and property, emphasizing the need for justice and peace. Socio-cultural organizations like the Igala Cultural Development Association, ICDA, and the Igala Youth Leaders Assembly have joined in condemning the violence, demanding the arrest and prosecution of the perpetrators. And as Eid festivities approach in the Muslim world, many Muslims hoping to celebrate with new clothes may face disappointment. Tailors in the ancient city of Katsina have expressed frustration over the unreliable electricity supply, which has led to difficulties in meeting deadlines and fulfilling customer orders. And despite efforts to work efficiently, the tailors lamented that even when electricity is restored, the voltages is often insufficient to power their machines, resulting in significant challenges and hardship. Abdullahi Yamadi went round some areas in the ancient city and gives a situation report.
Racing against time, these tailors say the workload they currently have is significantly less compared to previous years. They noted that they would have completed their work for their customers within the next few hours, if not for the difficulties they are facing with unreliable power supply.
We are facing now is lack of electricity and also inflation in terms of economy. We are 2 days to Salah or 3 days, but there is no electricity and also there is no money with people, that's why.
This one for 470 naira last year. In this year, we buy it in 900 to 1,000. There is another one. This one, we buy it 350 to 4. And that time, on this year, we buy it in 7 to 1,000 naira.
This, we are not happy with this situation because we have problem of NEPA. If they bring NEPA, they bring it at 3 minutes, 30 minutes. Probably we can finish it. At time we cannot get it to finish it at the same time.
Why?
Because no NEPA, the petrol is too high. We don't have enough time to complete.
However, customers argue that the tailors should have an alternative source of energy, recognizing that the national electricity supply is grossly inadequate to enable them to meet customers' demands. Despite these challenges, they remain hopeful that they will celebrate this year's Eid al-Fitr alive and in good health. They lament the harsh economic predicaments caused by fuel subsidy removal, uncontrolled inflation, and continuous devaluation of the nation's currency as significant challenges.
Collected the clothes I intended to wear on Salah Day. The economic situation of the country has adversely affected the people's affordability to bring their Salah, to bring a textile material for Salah clothes.
Public commentators are predicting low-key celebrations in Katsina and other northwestern states due to poverty, insecurity, and other challenges. They advise governments to be more proactive in addressing insecurity and to expedite efforts to introduce more welfare packages for poor and vulnerable families. Abdullahi Yamadi, Trust Television News.
And as Muslims worldwide prepare for the Eid al-Fitr celebrations, traders in Lagos are facing a low turnout of customers purchasing commodities for the occasion. They attribute this decline to the current economic challenges in the country and the increased prices of goods, which have deterred people from buying items for the celebration as they normally would. Trust TV's Abbas Dadibi now reports.
During the Eid al-Fitr celebration in Lagos, traders typically expect increased sales and bustling activities. However, some are experiencing a different scenario this year, with a noticeable low turnout of customers in their market. This downturn in customer traffic has left them lamenting, as they usually rely on this period for increased sales and revenue.
Market is not moving now because things are very expensive. We are all sitting, doing nothing. We are just looking. People will not celebrate Salah as they used to celebrate Salah before, because things are very hard now. There's no money. Everybody is suffering. At least before, by this time now, when we sell market, we will be very happy. But now everybody is very sad. There's no money. We are just suffering. Please, government should please help us. We are suffering.
Kai, yanzu a Nigeria ba a magana araha, sai dai sauki in ka samu abin si.
Now in the country, inflation has impacted every commodity as prices skyrocket and not many people can afford to buy.
Yanayin kaso tamu ya gwada Esther ma ba mu ciniki da yawa ba. To sallah ma ba mu san abin da Allah zai yi ba.
We still have hope and pray to sell more during Eid than what we experienced during the recent Easter celebration. Muazu Idris, the chairman of the Traders Union in Okeado Market, announced that at the start of the month of Ramadan, he convened a meeting with all sectors leaders where they collectively agree to reduce the price of all commodities to alleviate the financial strain on the masses. If you visit our market, you will notice that our prices are cheaper compared to other markets. As market leaders, we strive to offer the lowest possible price on all food items, attracting customers who seek affordability. This strategy encourages people to choose our market for their purchases. Chickens and other types of birds are typically in high demand just before the Eid al-Fitr celebration. However, Mrs. Egbe Kunle, who sells chicken and other birds, lamenting the low turnout of customers during the period.
The price has gone up, especially the layers. Before the Easter, we were selling layers 5,500, 6,000, but now the price has gone up. We cannot even say how much we are going to sell it by Salah, depending on what they bring for us. You know, we sell based on what our supplier brings for us.
The traders are hopeful of attracting more customers to purchase the goods they have displayed for the Eid al-Fitr Salah celebration. Abbas Ibrahim Alibi, Trust TV, Lagos.
Thanks to Abbas for that report. Moving on, inflationary pressures are now straining irrigation systems, posing challenges for farmers who rely on them for agriculture. Rising costs for equipment, maintenance and water resources are impacting the ability to sustain farming practices. Many farmers are calling for government support and innovative solutions to address these challenges and maintain food security during times of economic strain. The situation is particularly concerning for farmers in Kwadom who fear that if not addressed, these challenges could exacerbate recent food insecurity issues. Hassan Koli has more.
The escalating cost of fertilizer is sending shockwaves through the irrigation sector. Farmers heavily rely on fertilizers to enhance crop yields, but with prices soaring, they are facing difficult choices. While some may cut back on fertilizer usage, risking lower yields and income, farmers like Suleiman may struggle to avoid it altogether.
Harkokina na noma gaskiya bana na samu matsaloli daban-daban sabida
We are experiencing difficulties in irrigation this season, largely due to the high cost of agricultural inputs like fertilizer and seeds. The main issue here is that we could not afford the price because we are small-scale farmers. Maybe you can see here, the maize need fertilizer and watering, but we are just managing due to the high cost of it. Isa said the development forced many farmers to reduce their cultivated fields as many are waiting for the rainy season, warning of the negative impact of not having the required outputs. This is causing a great setback for food security. We left many fields as we cannot have inputs, so we are calling on the government to support us with grants. We will be happy to have even an agricultural loan. This will be better for us all and will ensure food security. According to locals, this will lead to reduced productivity in irrigated areas, impacting both local food production and livelihood. This comes amid the warning by Nigeria's global partners that the country will expect to have more than 20 million people grapple with a high level of food insecurity this year. Hassan Kohli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Now, away from the cost of living, but still in Gombe, Zakatul Fitr is a charitable donation of food that must be given before Eid prayer at the end of the month of Ramadan. Muslims who have the means are expected to fulfill this act in accordance with Islamic rites. Again, Hassan Kohli has more on this.
Zakatul Fitr is mandatory for every Muslim who fit the criteria. This charitable donation is given at the conclusion of the holy month of Ramadan. Zakatul Fitr involves providing basic food to those in need, marking the culmination of Ramadan's spiritual observance with tangible act of kindness and generosity. This was from the directive of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, second year after he migrated from Mecca to Medina. One adult Muslim will give out one sa'i, and it was given from the common local food of the people. It became permissible 2 days or one before Eid al-Fitr, and become mandatory on Salah Day. That is what the majority of Islamic scholars propagated. According to Islamic scholars, any Muslim who possesses food surplus to their need must pay the Zakatul Fitr, unlike the zakat, which is obligatory only on certain individuals. Zakatul Fitr is a duty for everyone in the household, and thus the head of the household, parent or guardians, can pay on behalf of other family members. Scholars also specify the categories of people eligible to receive such charity.
Nau'ukan mutane da ake bayarwa kamar yadda muka faɗa shi sune waɗanda Allah ya faɗa cikin Alƙur'ani a cikin suratul Tauba.
Allah has mentioned categories of people qualified to collect this kind of charity. There are categories of people that were mentioned in Surah Tauba for zakat, and from them, ulamas selected the first two, needy and poor people, as the best qualified category to collect the Zakatul Fitr. Everyone that has nothing to feed his family falls into this category. At a time like this, when most Nigerians are unable to cater for their everyday needs, mandatory alms giving serves as a succor to flight of millions who will be beneficiaries of the humanitarian gesture. Hassan Kohli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Again, many thanks to Hassan Kohli for that report. The federal government has declared Tuesday 9th and Wednesday 10th April 2024 as public holidays to mark Eid al-Fitr celebration. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, made the declaration on behalf of the federal government, congratulated all Muslim Ummah for the successful completion of the fasting in the month of Ramadan. Tunji-Ojo called on Muslim Ummah to imbibe and practice the virtues that entails kindness, love, tolerance, peace, good neighborliness, compassion, and exemplified by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. In a statement signed by the minister's permanent secretary Aishatu Gogo Ndayako, urged Nigerians to continue in the spirit of unity in order to improve and achieve peace and oneness in the country. The minister wished all Muslim Ummah a happy Eid al-Fitr celebration and praised that the peace, blessings and favor of Allah be with everyone. And President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Lagos State ahead of the Eid al-Fitr, marking the end of Ramadan. His arrival was confirmed by his special assistant on social media, Dada Olusegun, in videos shared on his X handle on Sunday. Tinubu was received by the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. According to a statement by the special advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, President Tinubu departed Abuja for Lagos on Sunday to observe the Eid al-Fitr with prayers for Nigeria and time spent with family. However, the statement did not specify the date of the President's return to Abuja. Also, the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, led by His Eminence the Sultan of Sokoto Alhaji Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar, has extended felicitation to the Nigerian Muslim community and the entire Muslim world on the joyous occasion of the Eid al-Fitr. The Council, in a statement, shout prayers for Allah's blessings for all to witness many more in good health and divine guidance. During Ramadan, Muslims are reminded of their obligation to pay Zakat al-Fitr, a mandatory food levy for privileged Muslims to support the less fortunate in society. The Council urges compliance with this obligation, emphasizing the importance of timely distribution. It is customary to distribute the prescribed amount to beneficiaries in the last 2 days of Ramadan, but before the Eid prayer, following the advice of the National Moon Sighting Committee. The President General encourages Nigerian Muslims to search for the crescent of Shawwal immediately after sunset on Monday 29th Ramadan, equivalent to 8th April 2024. You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up shortly. Despite government intervention, Kano community awaits solution to water scarcity. This and of course more stories after the break. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with the News Hour on Trust TV. Now look at the headlines again. Kidnappers demand 50 million naira ransom for 2 Taraba University students. Ahead of Salah celebration, Lagos traders lament low customer turnout amidst hike in price of commodities. And to more stories now. 3 individuals tragically lost their lives in an early morning accident in Jalingo when a trailer transporting cows crashed. The incident resulted in the death of several cows, with others scattering in different directions from the accident site. The trailer, which departed from the Mubi cattle market in Adamawa State en route to the Enugu cattle market, was carrying individuals inside during the journey. Unfortunately, 3 of them perished in the accident. Efforts were made to recover the stray cows that had fled into various parts of Jalingo town. Musa Sani, the owner of the cows, expressed gratitude to the residents of Jalingo, particularly the youth, for their assistance in the search and recovery operation. Sani reported that a significant number of the cows were successfully located in different areas of Jalingo. The bodies of the 3 deceased individuals were deposited at the Federal Medical Center in Jalingo, while those injured in the accident are receiving treatment at the same facility. Now, residents of Danya village in Bichi local government area of Kano State have expressed dissatisfaction with the quality of the water project initiated by Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf. The governor directed the immediate construction of solar-powered boreholes in the 2 villages grappling with severe water scarcity persisting for over 40 years. Trust TV's Salim Ibrahim, who recently visited the village, filed this report.
Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf addressed concern about the plight of the residents of Danya and Kelembula villages in Bichi local government area that are about 35 kilometers away from the metropolitan area of the state. The governor's concern was raised after watching a report on an online TV channel which shows young girls passing nights daily on queue after trekking a long distance to fetch water in the villages. Worried by the situation, The governor directed the state's project coordinator of the agroclimate resilience in semi-arid landscapes, ACRESAL, Dr. Dahir Hanshim, to immediately mobilize tools and logistics to construct boreholes in the two communities. Subsequent to the development, the agency mobilized to the site, conducted surveys and started drilling in search of water. However, the search for water was successful. The residents have faulted the quality of work being carried out.
Then ana sa 5 akalla.
They buried only 20 pipes and everybody in Denya complained to them that it will not get anywhere. In our neighbors Malikawa, between 25 to 30 pipes were buried to get the desired water. 20 pipes will not be enough.
One solar-powered borehole with 6 taps is expected to be constructed in Denya with the hope that it would be enough for the inhabitants. However, in a recent visit to the project site at Denya village, it was observed that while the water had been drilled but not completed, residents were not smiling at the project. According to them, the quality of work done will not yield as much water as anticipated, as the amount of pipe to be buried is less than the required to get enough. They therefore called on the authorities concerned to come to their aid and deal with the problem once and for all. Salim Umar Ibrahim, reporting for Trust TV.
And civil servants are encouraged to engage in farming and other agricultural activities to enhance their economic status. Technocrats believe that such endeavors would offer significant benefits to civil service-dominated states like Benue, particularly in terms of economic growth and prosperity. Trust TV's Jimmy Adzande reports.
Farming represents the primary business opportunity available to civil servants. However, many workers fail to take advantage of this opportunity, which is concerning given the current economic climate in Nigeria.
Agriculture is the only enterprise as a civil servant you are expected to be doing. You are not supposed to venture in any other business apart from agriculture. And you cannot just jump into any business, particularly towards the ending or maybe during the time you retire. If you are already working as a farmer or whichever form of agriculture you are doing, by the time you retire, it will seamlessly translate into the agricultural sector easier because you are already part of it. You've been working there and you know what to do.
The residents believe that Governor Hyacinth Alia has implemented favorable policies for the revival of agricultural economy within the Benue civil service. They emphasize the importance of civil servants making judicious use of these opportunities.
Based on the plans being introduced or established by the Executive Governor of Benue State here, His Excellency Reverend Father Dr. Hyacinth Alia, I wish and I'm advising all civil servants to engage into agricultural produce. Currently, a bag of grain is sold at the price of 50, 60, 70,000 naira. Assuming you are able to have 5 bags of rice, 5 bags of Benue, you know how much is there.
To improve food security, they urge every resident of Benue to own farmland, with civil servants leading the way in championing the initiative.
People are making good fortune from the farm. Unfortunately, for security reasons, it has become a little bit difficult now. But if you are opportune to be in a place where the security is not that worse, you might be doing 1 or 2 things on your farm and you'll get a lot from it.
With little support from government, this is the season. This is the farming season. So if the government can now say fertilizer subsidy, seeds subsidy, and some of this agrochemical subsidy, by November you will see what will happen in Benue.
Experts in the farming industry suggest that if civil servants engage in farming, they can move beyond relying solely on meager salaries for survival. They also call on the government to provide incentives and security for the farming population in Benue State. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
And amidst Nigeria's economic challenges occasioned by fuel subsidy removal and economic instability, a medical expert has emphasized the importance of regular brain checkups to detect and address conditions such as depression, dementia, and memory loss. Take a look.
The year 2020 ushered in a global health crisis with spread of the deadly COVID-19 disease. wreaking havoc on economics worldwide, and Nigeria was not spared from its effects. Despite efforts by both administrations of former President Muhammadu Buhari and current leader Bola Ahmed Tinubu, many Nigerians continue to struggle with the adverse impacts of a faltering economy. Among the grievances aired by citizens is the persistent challenge of expensive and unreliable power supply, exacerbating the economic strain faced by individuals and businesses alike.
As at now, the situation is not even favorable. As many people that are passing by now, you may see many people going down now. Some people, it's by the grace of God that they are working.
It seems the government is unaware of the hardship Nigerians are facing. It has become very difficult for most households to afford 3 square meals a day.
So I think the government should have a kind of proactive measures to be able to arrest the situation. And also, those that are trying to sabotage the effort of the government should be called to order. There are those that don't allow the farmers to go to the market. Once they are apprehended, they should be brought to book. That is it.
Amid escalating challenges such as inflation and unemployment, which have led to many Nigerians struggling to afford 3 square meals, Dr. Temitope Farombi, Chief Executive Officer of All Health and Consultant Neurologist at the University College Hospital, UCH, has urged Nigerians to prioritize regular brain checkups to guard against depression stemming from the country's economic hardship.
The situation in Nigeria is common to all, so just focus on your own little bit and don't carry the problem of the whole nation on your head or on your shoulder. So at least you can sleep at night, because you need your sleep to improve your memory and your cognition and also your mood in the morning. So you can sleep well at least 6 to 8 hours in the night, and that will prevent you from having a headache. And also, it's important for you to check your blood pressure, to check your blood sugar, to check your cholesterol, because I don't want people to come to me with stroke.
The Nigerian government is urged to implement mechanized relief policies and subsidies within the health sector to enhance socio-economic development.
And there you have it. Also, the Plateau State chapter of the Nigerian Union of Journalists have issued a resounding appeal for harmonious coexistence between Muslims and Christians, urging them to embrace fraternity regardless of ethno-religious backgrounds. Ayuku Pwaspo, the state chairman of NUJ, emphasized this imperative during the inaugural Ramadan lecture hosted by the NUJ Plateau State Council. The event centered on the theme Lessons of Ramadan Beyond the Holy Month. Ado Musa completes the report.
In advocating for peaceful coexistence, Ayuku underscored the significance of Ramadan as a time when the Holy Quran was revealed, imparting divine guidance and nurturing spiritual enlightenment. As custodians of the Fourth Estate, she emphasized the Ramadan lecture as the union's modern endeavor to foster spiritual revival among its members and the broader society. Furthermore, she portrayed it as a platform for nurturing peaceful cohabitation and religious tolerance within Plateau State.
If you remember, in December, we had our first carols, Christmas carols, and now we decided to do the Ramadan lecture. All these initiatives are geared towards peaceful coexistence and religious tolerance. As members of the Fourth Estate of the REM, we feel that people believe in us, people look up to us, and we are the ones providing information to the public. If we provide the right information to the public will also have a change of mind and live together in peace and harmony. Beyond us doing the reports of such events and just reporting it, let it be that journalists are the ones initiating it and also showing that indeed we're living in peace first as journalists, and that we're also promoting peace in our words and our actions.
Speaking at the occasion, State Commissioner for Information and Communication and Chairman of the occasion, Musa Ibrahim Ashoms, also emphasized the need for both Muslims and Christians to live together despite the ethno-religious conflict experienced in the state for the past 2 decades.
Whether you like it or not, the Muslim Ummah on the plateau has come to stay. So it's better you accept this reality and live with it. And it is important that the Muslim Ummah too knows that the Christian community here, nothing can happen to it. It has come to stay too. It's better we accept this reality and live in peace with one another. And peace is not just about pronouncements. It is action. It is what we do. Today is just the maiden edition. We pray for more series so that Plateau people will learn to live with one another, so that we become examples to others.
In his keynote address, the guest lecturer at the occasion, Deputy Imam of Faiba Mosque, Jos, Sheikh Umar Farooq Muhammad, emphasized the need for the Muslim community to sustain the lessons and values of Ramadan beyond the fasting period.
I have realized that there are many more lessons that we can learn from this month, regardless of our religious views. That is why today, the Christians and the Muslims observe fast together. I think it is last week we have the Good Friday, the Sunday, and the Easter Monday, right? And Christians too are fasting, they call it the Lent period. Ramadan is a special month of spiritual growth, self-discipline, and increased devotion. Muslims around the world eagerly anticipate this arrival and strive to make the most of the blessed days. But what happens once Ramadan is over? How can we continue to nurture and our spiritual and maintain the momentum gained during the great month?
Plateau State has been plagued by ethno-religious violent conflict, which has significantly divided communities across faith-based sentiment. This lecture is designed to bridge the gaps within the social fabric of the state. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has taken legal action against Senate President Godswill Akpabio for failing to refer the alleged 3.7 trillion naira budget pardon to appropriate anti-corruption agencies and for suspending whistleblower Senator Abdul Ningi. In the lawsuit filed at the Federal High Court, Abuja, SERAP seeks an order compelling Akpabio to refer the budget pardon allegations for investigation and prosecution. Additionally, SERAP demands the immediate reinstatement of Senator Abdul Ningi and the implementation of transparency measures to prevent the misappropriation of funds allocated for constituency projects. The lawsuit highlights the importance of accountability and integrity in the management of public funds, urging decisive actions to address corruption allegations within the Nigerian Senate. And the Rivers State Police Command has issued a stern warning to politicians and the general public, urging them to address their grievances through lawful means rather than resorting to verbal attacks that could incite violence in the state. This caution follows recent verbal altercations involving Governor Siminalayi Fubara and Minister of the Federal Capital Territory Nyesom Wike, among other political stakeholders, regarding governance issues in the state. SP Grace Iringe Koko, the State Police Command's Public Relations Officer, emphasized in a press statement issued in Port Harcourt on Sunday that the command will not tolerate any actions that could lead to a crisis in the state. The command urged politicians and the public to maintain peace, abide by the law, and seek peaceful and lawful avenues to address their grievances. Iringe Koko reiterated that the command will maintain neutrality and a political stance in all matters concerning the current political situation in the state. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) arrested Freeman Charles Ogbonna, a Delhi-bound passenger, at the screening point of the Terminal 2 of the Murtala Muhammad International Airport in Ikeja, Lagos. Ogbonna was apprehended while attempting to board a flight to Delhi, India via Doha on Qatar Airways using a Liberian passport under the name Car Bismarck. He had ingested 80 wraps of cocaine. NDLEA spokesman Femi Babafemi disclosed in a statement that Ogbonna tested positive for drug ingestion during a body scan. Further checks revealed his real identity and he was placed under observation in NDLEA custody, where he showed signs of discomfort. Similarly, NDLEA officers at the Lagos airport intercepted Imran Taufik Olalekon on Wednesday, April 3rd, at Gate C departure of Terminal 1. Olalekon was traveling to Oman with check-in luggage and a backpack. Upon thorough search, drugs were found concealed in the check-in luggage and backpack. Another individual, Ishola Isiaka Olalekon, who accompanied the suspect to the airport, was identified as the recruiter. In another operation, NDLEA operatives at the Tinkan Seaport in Lagos intercepted 2,144 parcels of Colorado, a synthetic strain of cannabis weighing 1,072 kilograms. The seizure was made during a joint examination with the Customs Service of a container originating from Toronto, Canada.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
You're still watching the News Hour on Trust TV. More news coming up shortly. Thanks for staying with the News Hour on Trust TV. And to business now, the Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, APCON, the umbrella body of all Central Bank of Nigeria CBN licensed Bureau de Change BDCs in Nigeria, has appealed to the Apex Bank to adjust and lower its applicable exchange rate downward below the 1,251 naira per dollar it pegged for the BDCs. The association, in a statement on Saturday, said the request is coming in the midst of the history-making achieved by the Apex Bank for the first time in the last 15 years. The group insisted that Naira's speedy recovery, which was faster than expected, has made CBN's selling rate to BDCs very expensive and difficult to offload to retail end that are trooping to the undocumented forex operators for cheaper rates while avoiding the BDC's services. And the Apapa Port Command of Nigeria Customs Service said it collected 489.614 billion naira as total revenue for the first quarter of the year 2024. The revenue generated is over 100% higher than the 212.5 billion naira collected in the same period in 2023. In a statement on Saturday in Lagos, the spokesman of the command, Usman Abubakar, commended the officers and port stakeholders for their cooperation towards the attainment of the laudable feat and called for sustained compliance by government and private sector stakeholders. The controller reminded them that the Apapa command of the NCS is playing a critical role towards the realization of the 5.7 trillion naira annual target of the NCS in 2024. According to him, all hands must be on deck to achieve and surpass the targets. And away from Nigeria, Rwanda's President Paul Kagame on Sunday said the international community failed his country during the 1994 genocide as he paid tribute to victims 30 years after Hutu extremists tore apart the nation. Kagame was speaking at an event to commemorate the 30th anniversary of the 1994 genocide known as Kwibuka. In keeping with tradition, the ceremonies began with Kagame placing wreaths on mass graves and lighting a remembrance flame at the Kigali Genocide Memorial, where more than 250,000 victims are believed to be buried. Sunday's event marks the start of a week of national mourning, with Rwanda effectively coming to a standstill and national flags flown at half-mast. In his speech, Kagame said he said Rwanda was completely humbled by the magnitude of their loss and the lessons they learned are engraved in blood.
We are in your debt. We asked you to do the impossible by carrying the burden of reconciliation on your shoulders, and you continue to do so, continue to do the impossible for our nation every single day, and we thank you.
And Israel has withdrawn all its troops from southern Gaza, including the city of Khan Yunis, following months of intense fighting with Hamas militants. The IDF announced that while the 98th Commando Division has concluded its mission in Khan Yunis, a significant force led by the 162nd Division and the Nahal Brigade will continue to operate in the rest of Gaza. The withdrawal was described as tactical, with the IDF stating that there was no operational need to remain in the sector. Despite the withdrawal, the army will maintain its presence and operations as required. The move may allow displaced Palestinians from Khan Yunis to return to their homes, although the army will continue to operate in the area. The conflict in Gaza, which began with a Hamas attack in October 2023, has resulted in significant casualties on both sides, with widespread destruction in Khan Yunis and other parts of the territory. And in sports, in the ongoing EPL race, Arsenal maintains their position at the top of the table, despite a thrilling 2-2 draw between Manchester United and Liverpool at Old Trafford. Liverpool's aspiration to reclaim the top spot was dashed as they were held to a draw by Manchester United. The Reds managed to take the lead with an acrobatic finish from Luis Diaz, but Bruno Fernandes' spectacular 40-yard shot leveled the score for Manchester United. Manchester United then took the lead through Kobe Mainoo's curling effort, only for Liverpool to equalize late in the game from a penalty converted by Salah after Harvey Elliott was fouled by Wan-Bissaka. With both Arsenal and Liverpool tied on 71 points, the title race remains intense, with goal difference currently separating the two teams at the top of the league's standings. And that wraps up the news hour on Trust TV. Do also follow us across all of our social platforms and also join us our live stream on YouTube for more news programs and documentaries. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Good night.